Hi, I am Kimberly, and welcome to my Motivational Monday, where I'll just be sharing motivation and tips. And so, I want to start talking about why I don't think you should wait to start your YouTube journey. So, if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, if you've been thinking about creating content off of your own experiences just to put some of that out into the world and benefit others, now is the perfect time. And so you need to start where you are to post on YouTube. I just want to let you know perfection is not necessary. And so I'm sharing from a place of, and there being times in my own life, in my own journey, where I thought I needed to get everything perfect before I started, right? And so what that did was kept me from starting. And I believe I was watching a YouTuber and they were talking about this same topic. And this was probably last year or the year before. And they said something that I'll never forget. And what they said was that even when you're looking in a book, this the number one bestseller that has made a top bestseller list, that's a New York Times bestseller, you still will find a typo. Let that sit with yourself for just a couple of seconds. Even with someone at the top on that level, right? There can still be a typo in their work. There can still be a place where they're not 100% perfect. What does that mean? That means it got through the author. That means it's gotten through the editor, right? That means it's gotten through all of these checks, and there still could be a mistake because we are not perfect. Perfection is not a requirement to get started. And not just get started on your YouTube journey, but it's not a requirement to get started about anything that you've been thinking about doing. I think that for me, it held me back. And the way I was looking at that was I was comparing my start to someone else's middle, right? So I'm starting however I start with whatever tools I got, if it's a phone, if it's whatever. And I'm looking at the person who has a fully set up studio. And I'm thinking, but my work or my thing or my video doesn't look as professional. It's not as crisp. I don't have a whole studio. I don't have cameras that are professional. I don't have XYZ. The truth is, on YouTube, I follow a lot of people that just sit in their car. They in their car, they talking, just like I'm talking to you right now. And they're still imparting something to me that I feel like I need enough to tune in. I'm not saying to myself, well, they're in the car, they can't tell me anything. No, I've been probably waiting on their word. I don't care if they're in the car. I don't care if they're working out. I don't care if they look glam. I don't care if they head wrapped. None of that matters because I need whatever that they are sharing as far as their wisdom is concerned. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You have something to share with the rest of us. You have some wisdom to put out. It's like 8 or 9 billion people on the earth. I think it's closer to 9 billion, but hey, it's about 8 billion people here. Out of 8 billion people, is there not anyone on the planet who needs what you have to offer? Think about that for a split second. You have something to offer that we all need. It doesn't have to be the same content I'm putting out. There's a channel, I cannot think of his name, but he just puts out videos on how to do things around the home. And when I tell you his content touches my heart, it is so valuable. It is so many people who did not grow up with someone telling them or teaching them how to do simple tasks around the house. And do you know how many people he tunes in? Millions. Because he's offering what he knows. It's not glamorous, it's everyday stuff, but it's needed. And so, what about you? What is the thing that you don't think we need that we may need, or the thing that comes naturally to you that doesn't come naturally to me? Right? I watch a lot of videos on watching what I say and watching my word. That's not my area in the past that I've been the strongest in. And anyone who knows me knows that. And so I've read books, but I've also watched YouTubers who have worked on that area. And they may only be a few steps ahead of me, but I need what they have on those few steps that are ahead of me. Gonna glance at my notes. Also, use your YouTube channel to overcome self-doubt. Now, this is huge. On this channel, I talk a lot about confidence building, building your self-confidence, building up your confidence in your ability and your self-esteem. And so this is a big one, right? We all have stories of rejection. Let that sit. We've all been rejected, and the rejection does not have to be big. It could be a small rejection of like coworkers all went to work lunch on lunch break and no one invited you. That can feel like a rejection. No, it's not the biggest deal, but those little stings and those small rejections can add up. They add up. And what they do is they chip away sometimes at our self confidence, our beliefs in ourselves, our belief in what we're bringing to the table. And just over time, it just starts to like chip away at us. And then we start to see ourselves smaller and smaller. We start shrinking in. This is what I talk about on my channel. And this is another thing that I'm saying you can use YouTube to overcome self doubt. If I'm on here and I'm putting out content that is relevant, content that is helpful, even if it just helps one person, I'm still contributing to helping someone, right? And so what does that do? That shows me, oh, Kimberly, you do have something to contribute. Oh, Kimberly, whatever your experiences have been, someone thinks that they are valuable enough to tune into what you are sharing to learn from it. And I'm telling you today, you should do the same thing, right? Use your YouTube channel to increase your self confidence. Use your channel to just build yourself up and other people. When I'm making these videos, I'm really talking to myself. I'm telling myself, Kimberly, you can do it. Kimberly, just because one group didn't accept you doesn't mean someone else won't. Kimberly, keep going. Kimberly, keep posting those videos. I'm sharing the content and I'm encouraging you, but I'm also encouraging myself. And that's the beautiful thing about sharing what we have, right? It like multiplies. It's like magical. It's a principle, of course, of sowing and reaping, but it seems like it's magical because you're putting out this small thing. Maybe this is a 10-minute YouTube video, but it like multiplies back to me on like 100-fold, right? It's encouraging to me to encourage you. And so, again, I just want to tell you, you do not have to wait for everything to be perfect because if you're waiting for everything to be perfect, you're never going to get started anyway. There are no perfect days. There's no perfect time. There's nothing on the earth that we can just do at a perfect time. Or maybe you'll have some good days doing it. I'm not trying to say you won't have good days, but I'm saying the circumstances will never be 100% perfect for us to start. I know there's a scripture about it. It was something to the effect of if you always look at the sky, you'll never plant, you'll never sow seed. And what that's saying is that if you're anticipating the weather, the rain, is it a good day to sow the seed? It'll stop you from just planting the seed. And if you keep stopping yourself, when you look up in a few months, you won't have a harvest because you never planted. And so that's what I'm telling you. Don't wait for perfection because you'll never get started. I'm telling you, sometimes I look at my videos and I'm like, what was that? Okay, no time ever. Like I just stuttered right then. It's not perfect, right? And I'm not going to edit it out. I try my best to not over edit. I try to leave in bloopers. I try to leave in the real so that you understand that what I'm doing is not perfect, right? We don't need perfection right now. We need you. We don't need perfection. We need whatever you have to offer, right? I watch people work out. They're like giving me tips. They're sweating. They don't look cute, but they look like they're getting something done that I need. And so, what about you? I want to challenge you to get started, and I want to challenge you to use your journey and your experience and what you share to build yourself up on this journey. So, I appreciate you for watching today. Again, this is Motivational Monday. I also encourage my audience to journal. I have a journal, but you can also just use a plain notebook and a pen, right? You can just write out. It doesn't have to be a formula to it. You don't have to use someone else's stuff. You can just use your own notebook, right? And what I'm encouraging you to do is just write out and work through whatever is going on with you. I talk a lot about self-confidence, self-belief. So if you just want to take your journal and write about something that you want to build your confidence in, maybe this year you want to build your confidence in how you look, and you're going to start with exercise. So maybe your journal entries every day are like a few minutes of, I did this, I feel better, I'm seeing results, I keep my breath longer walking, whatever it is. I just want to encourage you to use the journal as one of your tools on your healing journey. And so, again, I'm Kimberly. Thank you for joining me for this Motivational Monday. And I look forward to you joining me through the week. Have a great